So many people think that it is weakness. The reason that we comply, it is primal programming, and it is absolutely hackable. You're not as free as you think. You are obedient as you've been trained to be. People think that we obey out of fear. We become obedient because of some kind of fear, and that's not true. We are obedient out of identity. People confuse safety with self, and this is a big problem. The part of you that begins to obey, gets trained to be hyper obedient, isn't you at all in the first place. It is a ritual, and it is one that you never signed up for. And it's a ritual that you still perform daily. And so many people think it's a mindset or a decision that we make, but it is a survival reflex. Obedience is a survival reflex. Obedience is a survival reflex. So your nervous system is literally running software that is at least 200,000 years old. It hasn't changed. It hasn't been modified one bit. And that software says exile equals death. So if I get exiled from some kind of a tribe, that equals death inside of our brain. Exile equals death. Exile equals death. This is why we get to a place of compliance equals survival. If I get exiled, that means death. That means compliance must equal survival. Compliance equals survival. Compliance equals survival. This is why you feel genuine physical pain when somebody disapproves of you. Obedience shows up way before choice. You were trained your entire life to avoid punishment before you could speak. You were doing that. Your mitochondria in your body reduce energy when you get rejected. Your mitochondria stop making energy, and that energy comes in the form of a molecule called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. That means becoming compliant is efficiency, is biological efficiency. Becoming compliant is biological efficiency. If I'm compliant, that means my cells can make more energy. I can avoid conflict. Then I keep myself safe. But I think this also kills off a lot of truth, a lot of personal power, and a lot of your soul in the process of all this. Like the most famous study on obedience is the Milgram experiment. The scariest part to me was not the shocking, it was the smiling. The smiling. People smiled. 65% of people delivered these, what they thought were lethal shocks, to a stranger because some dude in a lab coat told them to do it. They weren't evil, they were just obedient. That's what happens when we are in the presence of authority. Authority equals permission, and permission bypasses conscience. Authority equals permission. Authority equals permission, and permission bypasses conscience. Permission bypasses conscience. And that's what happens every time that you stay quiet to keep the peace. In your head, you'll call it a strategy, but it's a ritual. It is a ritual. There is a 5-step obedience ritual that humans engage in. So step 1 is fear of rejection. Fear of rejection. You learned very early that love was conditional. Appreciation, affection was all conditional. Step 2 is silencing of the self. Silencing of the self. You're silencing all of the things that you're feeling, all the things that are real. So we silence truth to keep some kind of belonging. The third part, which is called external referencing. External referencing. How am I being perceived? How am I being perceived? Step 4 of this obedience ritual is image management. Image management. You put on a face so people won't see some kind of a rebellion or some kind of an insecure person or a wounded person that are underneath. We're managing the image, which naturally leads to the next step, which is behavioral conformity, which is step 5. Behavioral conformity. You're sacrificing authenticity for some kind of acceptance. Most people are kneeling to this religion in boardrooms and in relationships and in comment sections on YouTube or online. We know obedience is bad for the most part. Obviously, it's good. It keeps us alive and stuff. Obedience is identity theft. Obedience is identity theft. Obedience is identity theft. We start mistaking a bunch of trauma for personality. And the version of you who says yes when it should be screaming, no, I don't want to do that, that's not you. That is your conditioning. It's a little spirit, a ghost of compliance that's inside of you. And the shitty part is you're not really disobedient yet. You're just creative in how you comply. Even if somebody's a rebel, they still obey some applause. The spiritual types obey purity culture. CEOs obey some kind of weird performance metric. Coaches obey branding, and you obey the role. The ritual is not over. It didn't end. You just kind of changed the costume, made it feel different so it wasn't uncomfortable. The awareness is one of the biggest pieces. You don't need to break the rules. Not being obedient is about not breaking the rules. It's about breaking being in a walking trance all the time. Interrupt the ritual itself. And you could do this with one question on repeat in your head. It's like, what the hell am I afraid is going to happen if I were truly honest right now? So truth becomes a little act of micro defiance, and that is a big one. Choose your master on purpose. Choose who you're being compliant to on purpose. Choose your master on purpose. Don't just think differently, behave differently. Your nervous system has to feel that you survived disobedience. The moment that your nervous system feels we made it through that and nothing happened, we didn't die, a massive switch completely and permanently changes in your head. You have to have that feeling of I survived that and nothing happened. Say no when you would normally smile at somebody and try to please them. Or maybe speak up when you have an urge that the only way I can stay safe right now is through silence. And ask, like, where am I still seeking permission to be me? What do I still call me that's actually just programming? Where am I mislabeling me? Obedience is a ritual of the nervous system. It is absolutely a ritual. And what you think is your personality, you're calling it your personality, is probably your defense system wearing a little sticky name tag. You weren't born to be compliant and behave and sit still and shut up and speak when spoken to and shrink yourself so other people feel comfortable. You were born to just be, and you were born to become. You were born to become. We get taught to kneel early in life, but I think the absolute way that rebellion truly happens is remembering that you stood up and nothing happened. And getting that one piece of proof inside of your neurology will drastically change a lot of things for you. It's going to shift your worldview. If you think about any change that you want to make in your life, it is a byproduct of shifting your world view, how you view the world.